In a world where children are vulnerable, the line between protection and exploitation is often blurred. International laws like the Hague Convention and UNCRC aim to protect children's rights in adoption. At the heart of every adoption is the principle, the best interest of the child, but ethical challenges persist, from cultural sensitivity to the risk of exploitation. Our presentation explores a critical case, the West Java Baby Trafficking Syndicate, exposing gaps in oversight and enforcement. Together, we can strengthen protections and ensure every child's right to a safe, loving home.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rafi Dwi Fatur Rahmanur, and as the moderator of Group 7, I would like to officially begin our final presentation for the course English for Academic Purpose, Class 7B, under the guidance of our lecturer Miss Dea Randa Marpaung, MPD. Hello, Miss. Today, our group consisting of Ratu Hartini, Suci Rahmayani, Muhammad Lutfi, and myself will present a topic entitled Adoption Laws, Ethical and Legal Consideration. For this presentation, we chose a real and a learning case, namely the baby trafficking case in West Java, which involved illegal adoption practice disguised as legal procedure. So this presentation, we aim to explore the ethical violation, legal implication, international framework related to these issues. Without further delay, let us begin our discussion and proceed to the first section. Next. For this presentation, our analysis is supported by both international and national academic sources. We refer to the international legal instruments such as the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child, particularly Article 21 and 35, as well as the 90 and 93 Hague Convention on Intercountry Adoption, which provide global standard for ethical and lawful adoption practice. In adoption, our discussion is strengthened by peer-reviewed international journals, including Smalley on child laundering, Rotabi and Gibbon on illegal adoption market, and Arjon on the role of social media in child trafficking. National legal reference include Indonesia's child protection law and regulation on inter-country adoption. These source collectively from the academic foundation of our analysis.
New family relationship, it is designed to provide stable, loving homes for children who cannot be cared for by their biological parents, often due to abandonment, neglect, or other circumstances. Adoption laws vary significantly by country, state, or jurisdiction, but they generally include recruitments for eligibility, home studies, background checks, court approvals, and post-adoption support. Internationally, adoption is regulated by treaties like the Hague Convention on Protection of Children and Cooperation in Respect of Intercountry Adoption, which aims to prevent trafficking and ensure ethical practice in cross-border adoption. Ethical considerations. Ethical issues in adoptions revolve around the child, best interest considered cultural sensitivity and practical expression. Key points include best interest of the child, ethical adoption must prioritize the child welfare, ensuring they are placed a safe, nurturing environment. This raises questions with birth families, particularly reducing trauma but complicating family dynamics. Constraint and autonomy. Birth parents must give informed consent, but ethical dilemmas is concerned in a concept of or if children are adoption without about the child's origins to avoid identity crisis. Cultural and radical sensitivity. Adoption across racial or cultural line can lead to ethical concerns about preserving the child's cultural identity. Organizations like UNICEF emphasizing matching children with families of similar backgrounds to prevent cultural alienation. Exploitation risks. International adoption can involve unequal practices such as baby farming of trafficking. Providing ethical guidelines to ensure adoptions are not driven by a profile of demand from wealthy countries. Long-term impacts. Ethically adaptive families should prepare for challenges like attachment disorder or social stigma and provide access to counseling. Adoption involves a series of legal requirements that aim to protect the best interests of the child, as well as the rights of both birth parents and adoptive parents. Although specific regulation for vary across countries and jurisdictions, mass adoption system require adoptive parents to meet certain eligibility criteria such as being of legal age, demonstrating financial stability, and completing background checks related to criminal history, health condition, and home environment. Many regions now recognize single parent and same-sex for couple as eligible adoptive parents, although legal adoption still differs depending on local laws. The overall process usually includes home studies conducted by altruistic social workers, the matching of prospective parents with a child, court proceeding to terminate parental rights when necessary, and the finalization of adoption through legal documentation and incident of update birth certificate. Legal frameworks also address the different forms of adoption, including domestic adoption, inter-country adoption, foster care adoption, and step-parent adoption, each of which carries its own set of legal considerations. Inter-country adoption, for example, must comply with international agreements such the Hague Convention to prevent trafficking or unethical practice. On once an adoption is completed, the child gains full legal rights, such inheritance and certain case citizenship. However, legal challenges may arise, including contract adoptions, where both parents dip the process, or issues relate to access to to medical record. In internal cases, immigration procedures and citizenship verification handled by government agencies often become a significant part of the legal process. Next.
Okay, the next is theoretical concept. The main theoretical concept in the analysis of baby trafficking through illegal adoption practice include child laundering. The interest of the child principle and the legal frameworks of the 1993 Hague Convention and the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. These concepts are relevant to explain how criminal syndicates manipulate the legal adoption system into a mechanism of child exploitation by taking advantage of regulatory loopholes and digital technology. Next, child laundering. Child laundering refers to the illegal process in which children are obtained through purchase, abduction, or deception from their biological families and then laundered through formal adoption procedure using falsified documents to create the appearance of lawful orphan status. This concept, introduced and developed by David M. Smolin, highlights the ways in which intercountry adoption systems may unintentionally legitimize and incentives trafficking by transforming trafficked children into legally recognized adoptees. The process often involves the fabrication of civil identity documents and the exploitation of global demand for healthy infants. In the case of West Java, the falsification of birth certificates and passports demonstrates this pattern in which the identity of a child is erased and the child is sold across borders, including to Singapore, by exploiting weaknesses in post-adoption monitoring. The phenomenon is further driven by high demand from prospective parents in developed countries, which creates economic incentives for syndicates to convert trafficking into a form pseudo-adoption. The best interest of the child, as stated in Article 3, Paragraph 1 of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, requires that the best interest of the consideration every decision affecting them, including adoption. The principle emphasizes identity rights, health, stability, and holistic development. It also requires case-specific assessment that take into account the child identity, wearability, health rights, educational needs, and the preservation of family relationship, including the right to know their origin. Violation occur when adoption practices prioritize financial exploitation, for example in cases involving vulnerable pregnant women who receive false promise of compensation. Such practice sacrifice the welfare of the child for commercial gain. The principle also obligates states to prevent the commodification of children where protection is displaced by market-driven incentives.
International legal framework. The 1993 Hague Convention establishes transparent and uniform standards for intercountry adoption through the supervision of a designated central authority, prohibits any form of improper financial gain, and requires vigorous procedural verification to prevent illicit practices such of skin laundering. These measures are intended to ensure that everyone adoption is carried out ethically and that the rights of the child remain the primary consideration throughout the process. Article 35 of the United Nations Convention of the Rights of the Child reinforces this obligation by requiring states to prevent the abduction, sale, and trafficking of children through improved civil legislation system and stronger oversight of adoption procedure. In Indonesia, this commitment align with Government Regulation Number 54 of 2007 on adoption implementation and Article 76F of the Child Protection Law, which prohibit child trafficking, however, limited forced adoption supervision and the proliferation of social media platforms have enabled new form of digital misconduct, including fabricated adoption group on Facebook. These issues indicate that although international framework provide a solid foundation, their effectiveness ultimately depend on consistent national enforcement and the ability to respond to emerging technological rise. Baby trafficking case. This analysis found that despite strict regulations such as Government Regulation Number 54 of 2007 in Indonesia and the Adoption and Children Act 2002 in the US, systemic failures in post-adoption monitoring have created gaps for child exploitation. The phenomenon of rehoming in the US and baby selling syndicate via Instagram in Indonesia prove that the law often lags behind the speed of criminal innovation in the digital era. Furthermore, this report highlights the paradigm shift from best interest of the child to wealth with children, which triggers the commodification of children. On this occasion, I will provide an example of a case study that violates ethics and legality itself. The baby trafficking case uncovered in West Java in 2020-2025 is one of the most relevant examples of ethical and legal violations in inter-country adoption practice. The syndicate operation by disguising child trafficking as a legal adoption process, exploiting the lack of oversight on digital platform, especially for Facebook group like Adopsi Harapan Amanah and Adopsi Amanah. The perpetrators, including an intermediary with the initial AF from Bandung City, acted as prospective foster parents of representative of social foundation to gain the victim trust. Their main targets are unmarried pregnant women or poor families who are in economical and socially vulnerable conditions. Why? Cause the syndicate promised financial assistance of either 10 to 50 million to vulnerable pregnant women, but after the babies were born, they find only a small potential, with some mother receiving as little as 600,000. The infants were then taken to safe houses in Depok or Tangerang and subjected to child laundering, involving forged birth certificates and passport in Pontianak or Batam, where the biological parents' names were replaced with those of the buyer. Proven result, asing falsified document, the babies were smuggled to Singapore via RNC and sold to Indonesian and foreign buyers at high prices. This operation violated child protection principle and international adoption ethics, involving deception, exploitation of vulnerable women, identity falsification, and cross-border trafficking. The case was exposed in 2024-2025 after a biological mother reported the fraud, prompting investigation by the West Java Police and Indonesian National Police, leading to arrests and the rescue of survivor infants. Globally, adoption raises ethical and legal tension, especially regarding LGBTQ plus rights around this context, including the US, and Brazil. Allow joint adoption by same-sex couples with results showing children in LGBTQ plus families development as well as this in heterosexual household.
Next, come back to me again, guys. Actually, I find it difficult to explain, but I will try explain for everyone. After reviewing various contemporary cases and trends in child trafficking and dubious adoption practice, our analysis will focus especially on the West Java ring sending babies to Singapore 2023 to 2025 revelation. We begin with the ethical dimension because this case clearly violates the principle of the child is best interest and exploit vulnerable women and families by offering misleading financial compensation. The child laundering process erases the child's original identity, raises severe moral issues including the risk of losing the child's life to know their origin and identity. Moreover, abusing the adoption mechanism for commercial can reflect a collapse of ethical values in international adoption practice, especially when there is alleged involvement of medical personnel or social organizations who so uphold professional ethics. After addressing the ethical dimension, the analysis turned to legal aspect. Under Indonesian law, this case constitutes trafficking in person for violating Article 76 F of the Child Protection Law, which prohibited kidnapping, sale, and trafficking of children. The falsified birth certificate also breach the child right to identity under Article 27 and amount to criminal forgery. The syndicate bypassed inter-country adoption recruitment under government regulation number 54 or 27, including a profile from the Minister of Social Affairs and Accord. Internationally, the case violated the 1993 Hague Convention prohibiting on employer financial gain and its verification recruitment, as well as Article 35 of the UN Convention on the Right of the Child, which obliges to prevent child abduction, sale, and trafficking. Next, international research provide several important findings that relate directly to the baby trafficking case from West Java to Singapore. Smolin in a 2012 study explained that child laundering occurs when children obtained through birth, purchase, or abduction are given falsified documents enabling trafficker to move them through the official adoption system as if they were legitimate orphans. Pajon and College in 2024 report the social media has become a major space used by traffickers to target financial vulnerable pregnant women. Offenders really on online adoption group to approach these women while avoiding formal oversight. Rotabi and Gipon in a 2012 publication emphasizes that the high global demand for healthy infants, especially during time when inter-country adoption procedures are targeted, drive the emergence of black market. In this market, intermediaries exploit weakness in civil registration system to commodity children. Conclusion. The West Java baby trafficking case 2023 to 2025 demonstrates that despite strict national and international regulation, systemic gaps continue to be exploited by criminal syndicates through illegal adoption practice. This operation including the section of vulnerable mother, document falsification, and cross-border transfer of infants, clearly violate the principle of the child is best interest and international adoption ethic. The case highlights how child laundering, inadequate post-adoption monitoring, and the rise of the digital platform facilitate exploitation. While high global demand for infant drive the commodification of children, strengthening law enforcement and enhancing post-adoption supervision, and encouraging public awareness are essential to prevent self-violation and protect children's rights. Thank you to all group members for the explanation, and thank you to everyone here for your attention throughout our presentation. To conclude our discussion on adoption laws, ethical and legal consideration, and the West Java baby trafficking case showed that despite exciting national and international regulation, serious ethical and legal violations continue to occur. This highlights the urgent need for stronger enforcement, better monitoring, and greater public awareness to protect children's rights. We hope this presentation has provided useful insight for understanding how adoption law works and why ethical considerations play a crucial role in safeguarding vulnerable children. On behalf on Group 7, Ratu Hartini, Suci Ramayani, Muhammad Lutfi, and myself as a moderator, I officially close this session. Thank you once again, and we are now open to question, feedback, or comment. Bye-bye.